How are you doing today? Hi, good morning, Shravani, Santosh. Hi, Nitesh, Arti, Vipin. Good morning, Hari. Good morning, everyone. Nice. Hi, Sajja. Okay, so let's jump on. So, did you completed your practicals on S3? Oh, nice. Good. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yes, sir. We will try to do it. Did you complete it rest of Amazon SQS console? Why you went to SQS? Okay, so what we're gonna do is let's try to figure out the rest of the things like cars, right? Yes, yes. It's not SQS, no, it's SNS. Sorry. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay, so by the way, guys, did you work on access points? No one? Okay, I'll give time. Okay, good. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a bucket. Let's try creating a bucket here. So let's 11 a.m. some test BKT, right? So let's go and create a private one. So which topics that we should talk about? Let's try to create and see what we need to talk about. So let's go inside this. So we discussed yesterday about this. So someone is asking intelligent tiering archive configurations. So if you read this, enable objects stored in the intelligent tiering storage class to tear it down to archive access tier or to deep archive access tier, which are optimized for the object that will be rarely accessed for longer period of time. Isn't it a self-explanatory? Did you understood what is this about? So this is about archiving purpose, guys. So not about Glacier. I'm not talking about Glacier, but this storage class. So if you want to, yeah, self-diff archiving, very good. So do you want, it's simple. See, do you see this? So give a configuration name you want to set for the entire bucket, or you want to set for only particular fixes, right? And then come down and you want to go with archive access tier or deep archive access tier. So you just go over, if you go for it, so all the objects that you have given inside this bucket or bucket or prefix, everything will be moved to the archive. That can be archive access tier or deep archive access tier. Yes, Santosh rightly said. So now, if you go to permissions, so guys, remember any point of time you can change the private bucket to the public bucket by editing this and then unchecking it. Yes. So if at all you want to change from private bucket to public bucket, you come to permissions, so you can change it. We'll talk about this later. And then let's talk about chords, right? So for chords, guys, do you remember that we discussed about the chords? Everyone remember about the chords? So how many buckets we should create to test this? 2 buckets we need to create. So let's create, and that should be a public bucket or private, because I want to access my application index.html, right? So it should be public or private? It should be public. So should we go ahead and create two public buckets called as course bucket 1 and course bucket 2? Course bk course bucket 1. So we go with Mumbai, right? I will go for public if you want, and I acknowledge. I create bucket. So, and then I'm just going and creating another one. We call it as cost bucket 2. You got it in Mumbai, or just go for public. Okay. So what I gonna do is, guys, I will try to upload. There is nothing of for this, right? So we'll just delete it. So what we're gonna do is, guys, in cost bucket 1, we'll try to upload 2 files. Okay, one is index.html, another one is, we call it as load.html. So I'll tell you what is this. So if I go for course, so there is index.html. So guys, can you please, I'll just give you a couple of minutes. Can you please see this and tell me what is doing? Please check it. Did you check? Excellent. Let me grab my water bottle. 1 second. How much ever you see, you can't see me here. Hurry. Okay. So guys, do you see this? As you rightly said, this is a small, just a small HTML file, which is giving something, a small heading called AWS S3 cost demo, and then a small JavaScript, couple of lines JavaScript, where it is loading load.html from another file. Yes or no? What you said is perfectly right. So should I show you that load.html? This is the load.html. I just wrote it like this is loading from same bucket. That's it. I'm calling that here. So if I open this index.html, what I'll get? I'll get AWS S3 cost demo as heading, and also as I'm loading load.html, this data also will be seen in the index.html. Yes or no, everyone? Should I upload these two things and then see and enable static website hosting? Let's try to upload these two things. These two things here, upload it. So if you want to enable static website hosting, what I need to do, I need to make public, right? Make public. And then I need to go to properties. And then here, edit it, enable it. Here I put index.html. And then save it. Nice. So if I open this, did I open the? Okay, so sorry. So I haven't saved that file. So okay. So, so I need to upload this again, this index.html. So every time we have to make it public. So now what I do, so go in the properties and see here. Guys, do you see this? Are we getting it? So this is just a S3 cost demo heading, and this is the load.html. We are seeing this two pages in one page. Yes or no? We are calling load.html from the same bucket. I have uploaded load.html in the same bucket, right? I have index.html and then load.html. I'm calling this load.html in this index.html from the same bucket. Everyone agree? Yes? Good. Now what I do, I'll upload that load.html in parts bucket to another file. I'll upload this load.html in the parts bucket too. And then I'll make it public. So, and it has its own URL, right, guys? So I copy this URL, and then in my index.html, I edit this index.html. right? Instead of calling from the same bucket, I will be calling this from the another bucket. Do you understand what I did? Guys, did you understood what I did? I'm calling load.html from the another bucket. Okay. So as I have changed it here, I need to upload this index.html again, right? Because there is no way where I can go ahead and then edit it. I cannot edit it from here, right? So I have edited it. So now I need to just get modified one and upload it here, index.html again. So, and then make public. So guys, now if I refresh this, what will happen? This will come or not? It will not come. Let's see. Refresh it and it is gone. So why it is gone, guys? If we inspect this element to the console, can someone can see this? What is the error? Has been blocked by cards. Do you see that? Right? So because we are calling that index, that load.html from the another bucket, another origin, whereas it doesn't have access to read it. So for this reason, we have to just go back to which bucket, and then we need to enable the cards. To which bucket we need to enable the cards? Second bucket. So let's go to the second bucket. And then in permissions, if you come down, you have cards here, right? So what you need to do is simply, guys, if you click on learn more, we will see that cards JSON script, cards configuration. If you come down, do you see this? This is the small script that you need to copy it, and then you need to paste it here. Guys, so now you're allowing us delete all these methods to which site, to which origin that you want to select it. So you need to put cards one bucket right here. So if not, you just put star. If you put star, this load.html can be accessed by any of the origin. So if at all you want to give access only to particular origin, you can put it out there. Got it, guys? Do you understand the chords, everyone? Okay, good. We have only Sajia, no one else, huh? Guys, did you understood? Everyone? Okay, so let's click on save changes. So now we have saved the changes. So now if I go and refresh it, it should come back, right? If I refresh it, and do you see that? It has came back. So because we have added this chords code in that bucket too, and then it is giving access to all the domains, or you can specifically put this URL there, and you will be access this load.html will be accessed only to this particular domain, or else if you put star, it will you can access that anywhere. Understood? So actually this no one will tell you. Why I told you this is most of the developers will get this kind of issues very frequently. So instead of banging your heads and scratching your heads and begging someone, so just assume that if you get If you're calling any objects from some other buckets, if it is not working, then please watch out cards. Guys, is this clear on the cards, everyone? Nice. So these are all the ACLs. We call it as access control list. So this will be available only if your bucket is public. If it is private, you don't get all these things. If at all you want to give public access, or if you who is the owner of the bucket, right? If you want to authenticated user groups, etc., you can give all kind of permissions from here, right? And if you go to metrics, so metrics is a place where you can see um, I'm putting that to you. That, Sony. Okay. And if you come here, and guys, if you, in your real time, if you have a huge data, and if you want to know, what is the bucket size, what is the total number of objects, basically metrics, right? So you can get the graphs over here. As we don't have any data over there, you don't have any graph. And then storage class analysis. What is this storage class analysis, guys? So analyze storage access patterns to help you decide when to transition objects to the appropriate storage class. This is bloody self-explanatory. So what it does, it doesn't do anything, guys. What it does is basically it just analyze, guys, it will analyze all your objects and it will give you a suggestion saying that, hey, these are all the objects you can transition from this storage class to that storage class. This is just an analysis, guys. We click on create configuration, give some name, and then you want to do it for the entire bucket or particular prefix, give that folder, and then export it as CSV. That's a click on create configuration. That's it. What it does, it will generate a CSV file and says that, hey, these are all the objects can be moved to this particular storage class. Because if it is frequently accessing, it will say that FA. If it is not frequently accessing, it will give you IA. If you are not using it properly and somewhere, some point of time, an appropriate storage class, it will suggest you. So this one, replication metrics, I'll talk about this. This is related to the here. Okay, now here we have two important things: life cycle rules and replication rules. Let's talk about this life cycle rules, guys. So what is the life cycle rules? Do you remember we discussed about life cycle management? Guys, life cycle management. What is that life cycle management used for? What is LCM used for? Snapshot. Guys, what is this life cycle? Yes, Ashish, very good. So if you want to move the objects from one storage class to another storage class, then you can go for life cycle rules. You can create a rule. Okay, let's take an example now. I want to move all the objects from frequently accessed storage class to infrequently accessed storage class, and from there infrequently I need to push it to Glacier, and after that, after 1 year after moving to the Glacier, it should get deleted automatically. Should we take this example and create a rule? Did you understand the rule? Yes, transition and expiration. Very good, Hari. We have two things, transition and expiration. Can you also tell me that these transition expirations, we can set it for current versions as well as for previous versions also? Did we learn this? Yes. So let's try to create life cycle rule. Click on create life cycle rule. Okay. And give some rule name. Call it as FA to IA to Glacier. So you want to do it for only particular folder, do it. Or if you want to put it for entire bucket, do it. And this is what I said. You want to do it for the current versions or previous versions. Let's take move the current versions of the objects between the storage class. For example, let's select this. And I told you there is something called transition. Okay, now by default, your objects will be in which storage class? FA. So if you want to move to IA, how many minimum days that is required for IA? 30 days. 20, if I put 29, is it valid? No. So do you see a minimum of 30 days is required? So I'll put 30. So after IA, you should move to which transition? Add it. After IA, you can move to intelligent tier or one zone or whichever written. Now we need to move it to glacier. Na? Put it to glacier. So glacier, how many days? 90. But 30 is the object has spent already 30 days. How many days left? 60. Put 60. Okay. And you acknowledge for that. And then here we need to expire current versions, right? Okay, if you select that, another new one will come up here. Expire current version of objects. After how many days? Let's put 365 days. 365 days, it'll get. After that, it'll expire. And you can see nice timeline over here. Do you see this review? Transition. So day 0, whenever you upload the objects, after 30th day, it will move to the standard IA. And after 60th day, it will move to the glacier. After day 365, it will expire that object. This will be automatically happening. I did it for current versions. And if at all you want to do it for non-current versions, that means select this and you will get the another stuff here. It's purely depend upon the requirement. Based on your requirement, you just need to select this and then select how to move from one storage class to another storage class. Is this clear? Creating the rule. If you want to, yes, if you want to delete expired, because whenever you delete in any object, delete markers will be there na, in the backend. So if you want to delete that expired delete markers also, you can set it. Right. So this is how you create it. Click on create rule, simple. And the rule will be created. So you no need to worry about it. So based on, so I have enabled for the entire bucket, but if you have subfolders, you can enable, you can create multiple lifecycle rules, and then you can do it for multiple subfolders based on your requirement. So this is how you create a lifecycle rules. Should we go to replication rules? How to replicate from one bucket to another bucket? Okay, now I'll create a new buckets now. Let's create a new bucket, call it as 11 a.m. source bucket. Source BKT. So my source bucket is in Mumbai. Doesn't matter if it is public or private. I'm just going for the private. Okay. And then go ahead and, hey, by the way, for setting up CRR, guys, replication is nothing but CRR and SRR I'm talking about. So for CRR, versioning is mandatory, na? Guys, did we learn that? So you need to enable the versioning while creating if you have planning to do CRR. So create bucket. So we'll create another bucket also called destination bucket and try to sync, try to replicate 11 a.m. Desti bucket. So guys, if you're creating the destination bucket in the same region, that will become SRR. And if you are doing it, selecting it some other region, that will become CRR. So let's move it, enable and versioning for it, and I create buckets. Okay. Now, from which bucket to which bucket we need to replicate? From source to destination. So for that meaning, in that case, where should I create a rule? In source or in destination? Source. So let's go to source. So meanwhile, I'll open another console and I open destination bucket also. And here I'm going for source bucket. Okay. So now I have two tabs. One is source, another one is destination. Okay. So now I'm going to the source bucket. So in management, I go with replication rules. Let's click on create replication rules. So Mumbai to Ireland replication. Just give some name. Okay. And source bucket. Source bucket is 11 source bucket. And you want to do it for only particular subfolder or you want to do it for the entire bucket, select it whichever based on your requirement. Guys, did I told you that the destination bucket can be in another account also completely? Yes. Yes. So if your bucket is in this account, choose a bucket in this account. If your bucket is in another account, give the ID of that account. So choose a bucket in this account and we need to choose now what is the destination bucket. This is destination. So browse it. Which is the destination? 11 a.m. So sorry, this one, destination bucket. So guys, as it is in the different, if you're selecting the bucket which is in, let's say for example, this is in Mumbai, it is SRR. If it is in the different bucket, that's simply different region bucket, that will be CRR. So select that. So IAM role. So you can say that create a new role. So either you can create a role and write an inline policy giving permissions to only these two buckets, or you can ask AWS to create a role itself. So it will create a role itself. Okay. And encryption. Do you want to replicate the encryption also? Because if you have enabled encryption for a particular object, right? So if you are synchronized, if you are replicating to another bucket, encryption also should get replicated. If at all you want, select yes. So for replication, there is a question here. Sir, actually, we are sharing the backup version from source to destination, right? So who said it? We are sharing the backup version. So it is not about the backup version. It's all about, let's say, for example, you have two buckets. I'm sitting in India, you're sitting in US. So whatever the objects that I'm putting in my bucket here, it should be available to you also. Okay. So without versioning, the replication will not be happening. That is a rule for AWS in the backend. So versioning should be there because it will not touch your original object to get replicated in the backend. It will take your versioning files to get replicated in the backend. Do you understand the logic? So guys, if at all you want to, replicate the encryption, select this. Otherwise, no need. And storage class. So if you want to change the storage class, guys, if you want to change the storage class, let's say here in the source bucket, you have standard frequently access. While replicating, it has to move to infrequently access. If at all you have that kind of criteria, select this. And these are all additional replication options like you have RTC meaning here replication time control, within how much time that you want to replicate. But these are all additional fees are applying. So if you read it, it is all self-explanatory. So guys, do you remember in our in metrics, we have replication metrics. So if you want to see the metrics of how it is replicating and how many, what is the time control, etc., for if you want to see that metrics, you need to enable it here. If you enable this, that metrics will be enabled. Otherwise, no. And if you want to delete marker replication, someone was asking, sir, if I delete here, it will get delete there. So if you are replicating the delete marker, yes, then yes. replica modification, if you want to do any modifications, metadata changes, if you want to, guys, these are all additional options. So based on your requirement, you need to choose it. Is it clear how to create a replication rule, guys? Guys, everyone, CC, non-IT, and I click on save. Okay, I also told you this. So you want to, let's say, for example, you have existing objects. You might be having existing objects in the source bucket. You want to replicate those existing objects also, or you don't want to replicate the existing objects also. It's purely depend upon your requirement. If you say that no, your existing objects will not be replicated. So if you say yes, all the objects will be replicated. So guys, in source bucket, I have created this replication rule. Now, if I go to my source bucket and try to upload any objects, automatically that object should be available in my destination bucket, right? Yes or no? Should we try to upload something? Let's try to upload this index.html itself. So I'm uploading this in source bucket. In source bucket, here I have uploaded. Let's see in destination bucket. Guys, do you see this? It got replicated. Index.html here in destination bucket. Understood? I have it in source bucket. I also have it in destination bucket. So like this, whatever the data you put it in the source bucket, everything will get replicated to destination bucket. So I want Sony, those are all the permutations and combinations that I want you guys to do it in as a part of lab. Yes, obviously will. To answer your question, yes. So guys, and then we have some that is on CRR and SRR also, you know very well. If you have the bucket in the same region, that will become the SRR. And you have inventory configurations. What is inventory in general? Inventory. Nice collection of data. So if at all, if your manager asks you, hey, can you just list me what are the objects that we have it, and then those are replicated or not, and then what exactly that you have it in the bucket. So guys, if at all you want to just try to get the inventory out of it, create a inventory configuration. So the destination, the CSV, the report will be generated in the which bucket it has to be saved, and in which format, and you want to generate this inventory daily basis, weekly basis, and what is your output CSV format, right? And then what are the additional fields that you want to add it in the report. Select it and create it, and automatically, guys, don't do it because this will take at least 48 hours for the first time, right? And then do not do this. But in general, if at all your manager or someone asks you the inventory configuration details, so you can set this up. Is it clear, everyone? So I want you guys to do it on the access points. It doesn't take much time for me to talk about access point, but the thing is, I have given you as an exploring thing, but I want someone to, if you're ready, then I'll enable for that particular person. That person can teach here. At least tell what is his access point. Hmm? read it. So read it, create an access point, and then just select VPC. What it is doing? What is this basically? You just click on create access point. Go with the default. If you're going a VPC, there will be a VPC idea. So if you go to VPC, there will, or if you use internet one, what is the loss? Just try to go with the internet and see what is this doing. Mhm. Everyone understood each and every option in S3 we have discussed? Clear? Should it should we take up the task? Course, Sagar, if you mail me, I'll send you. Yes. If you mail me, I'll send you this course, this index.html, load.html. You can also create it by yourself, guys. But if at all you want, I can send you this index.html and load.html also. And course task, set up lifecycle rules, CRR implementation. I want you to do it bucket 1 to bucket 2, bucket 2 to bucket 3, bucket 1 to bucket 3. So I did for bucket 1 to bucket 2, right? I want you to do it to bucket 2 to bucket 3, and also from bucket 1 to bucket 3. Let's see. So basically bucket 1 will be pushing it to bucket 2 and 3. See that it's possible or not. Or SRR implementation. And also one thing, guys. See, can you create two IAM users called user 1 and user 2? Please respond yes or no. Yes. Okay. So I have a requirement that create two buckets called user 1 bucket and user 2 bucket. Whenever user 1 has logged in to the AWS S3 console, he should be able to access only user 1 bucket. He should not have access to this. And whenever user 2 has logged in, he should be able to access only his own bucket, not others' bucket. Can you achieve that? There are two ways you can do it. I want you to do it on the two ways. One is create IAM policy. Using IAM policy, you can attach it to user 1 and user 2, right? Or you can use this bucket policy also that I was talking about here. Okay, that will be an interesting task, and access point setup, as I told you. And also, guys, mostly these developers, basically, we have so guys, for developers, whenever you're uploading, downloading all the objects from S3, going to the console, clicking this, that, and this, it is little bit headache, isn't it? Going to the console all the way and clicking, click on upload, drag. Oh, so many things you have to do it. So there is a tool called S3 browser. This is my new laptop, basically. I don't have S3 browser installed. Oh, it's there. Click on S3 browser. It's a free tool. You can download it from internet. It's called S3 browser. So if you use S3 browser, guys, this is a S3 browser. If you use it, so click on accounts and add a new account. Guys, you have your own access key and secret key, na? In from IAM account, you have your own access keys and secret keys, right? So put your access keys and secret keys here and click on add new account. Once you add a new account, all your buckets will be listed over here. So you no need to go to S3 console. Directly, you can create a bucket here, drag and drop, upload, download, delete, create new folders. It is basically a nice tool instead of going to the S3 to the website, going up and down and all. So it is just like your, like people has this FileZilla, WinSAP, etc., right? Yeah, the same way, kind of WinSAP. Yes, right. So can you do this thing guys. And also there is something called Fast Glacier, guys. Download Fast Glacier same way. It will be same like S3 browser. There is also something called Fast Glacier. And for Fast Glacier, it is for creating vaults. What is vault? Vault is meaning which service that we are talking about. Vault meaning where we discuss vault. Yeah, 1,000 volts only, but where? Glacier, right? So in Glacier, we discuss about vaults. So in Glacier, what same like S3, in Glacier, you create vaults and you upload zip files called archives. So instead of going to Glacier, you can use this Fast Glacier tool to upload or to create vaults and upload zip files. Just have a feel of it. Don't create any vaults. If you create, also delete it immediately. Okay. I need to put half and half. That is one. Yes. So meanwhile copied. Meanwhile, I just go ahead and then delete my buckets. Empty bucket first. It's pretty easy, Sony. So go inside it, go to properties, and then here you have server access logs. Create one bucket and edit it and choose that bucket. That's it. Guys, does anyone has that is what hurry that I want to resolve that. I know that error will come up. So guys, if anyone has a Python experience, send me your resumes. I need to, does anyone has Python experience? Good Python skills? Automation, Python? Only, no one? Only Soham? Java? Don't tell me that, don't, sir, you're not asking AWS. So Python with AWS, Java with AWS, like that. Because AWS, you're already learning it. No one Java people here? Experienced people? Can you hear me? Mm, no one, right? So just send me a resume, Soham, if you're interested. Okay, so those who have Linux administration also, I have knowledge on DevOps and Linux and now AWS. DevOps Linux. Send me a resume also. Okay. Good. Yes, Hari. No need to work for free. Let's see. Okay. So guys, that is on S3. So please do all your complete all your practicals, right? Any questions? Questions, concerns? All good? But a good, nice suggestion from me is that if you have one scripting knowledge, it will be really good. I'm telling you, Python is the best, and have the Linux knowledge also, because nowadays all even in my company, like we are moving from Windows to Linux because Windows is we need to pay licenses and all, right? Linux is free compared to, and the virtual machines also, the EC2 instances or Azure VMs, whichever it is, basically Windows is much costlier than Linux. So if you need to have a good cost optimization, the applications, whatever that you have developed, Java or whatever it is, it's now people are moving to Linux based to save the cost, right? So the suggestion is like, but remember, one cloud knowledge is must nowadays everywhere. Even wherever I know, like, the cloud knowledge is must. It can be AWS, it can be Azure, it can be GCP, right? IaaS is on Windows, yeah. For Linux, you have web servers, right? So if anyone knows GCP also, let me know. GCP. So Python with cloud, right? With any of the cloud, or Java with cloud, or whichever, whatever the technology, please add the cloud. I mean, that meaning AWS. So please don't stop just with AWS. AWS is good, really good. But the thing is, so if you really don't want to miss any of the opportunities, so then go with GCP or Azure also, please. But you no need to spend this much effort. It will be very, very, very easy. The look and feel, the console will change. Rest concepts are same. The only difference is here we call it as EC2 instance. There we call it as virtual machine. Here we call it as S3 bucket. There it is called blob. So here we call it as some database. There we call some other name. Here we call it a security group. There we call it as NSC. Same thing, same concepts, but the names are different. Yes. Okay, good. So guys, can you give me the final CC for today? Acha. For my mobile number, just imagine thousands of people are waiting for my mobile number. So just imagine if I share my mobile number, will you make will it's very impossible to sleep. Great. So that is all, guys, for today, and I'll see you tomorrow with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day, and see you tomorrow. Bye.